Welcome to Overwatch. In tonight's broadcast, we'll have the pleasure of casting a match between two teams from the Overwatch University League in the NA region. I'm one of your hosts, Kabooks, doing play-by-play. Also with me tonight is my co-host, Feeny, who will be your color caster. Last but certainly not least is Trumu, who will be our producer for tonight.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Kabooks. Tonight, during this Midweek Madness event, we're going to have Roll for Initiative going up against Golden Weapons and Optional. And on the side of Roll for Initiative, we're going to have Cement, Aerial Air, Seraphis, Legion Teddy, Revi, and TLMO.
Now, if we look in the team's lineups coming out, we're going to have... looks like we're going to have a Symmetra on defense coming out from Symmetra, funny enough. And if we look on attack, we're going to be focusing on it's more of a dive comp. We're going to see Winston and Zarya as their main tanks, with TLMO as on Tracer to back them up.
I think TLMO is going to make a lot of space here on Tracer, especially if he manages to wrap around the tunnels. But we're going to see how the Symmetra plays out, because if the Symmetra does manage to shut down that Tracer going around the tunnels, then the attacking team is going to have a little bit of a harder time pushing on through. But we have this Pharah Mercy Winston still going to be able to dive in and take that big early defense down pretty handily. So even if Symmetra does manage to stop Tracer, they're going to also have to handle the Pharah Mercy as well. And they have Soldier as their one-hit scan, but that's not going to be enough to stop Winston, Pharah, and Mercy.
So as we're underway here, both teams are going to be pushing onto point, and we're going to be pushing the cart here. TMO is going to be going around the left side, but he's going to meet those turrets, and he's going to have to fall back. Winston's going to be trying to jump onto the gas station, but he doesn't quite make the jump as he falls back to the cart. Looks like the team is going to be regrouping here as they really want to try to hop onto that gas station, try to push the enemy team off. Looks like Winston's looking for a jump to push on there, but doesn't quite make it. Farah just tried the knockback, just doesn't quite hit D.Va off, as Winston also tries to jump on there. He doesn't quite knock him off. Looks like blue team is going to be dropping down onto the point to try to contest, as TLMO is going to be going in that back line to try to hunt that Mercy, as D.Va is also hopping on that Farah, who she does end up taking out. A few picks coming out from here and there, especially on blue team side, where they take out Mercy, which is a huge pick in order to push up, but without the front line, looks like they're going to be falling back. Revi does get Nico out of his mech, but with not enough people to actually push the cart, they're going to be falling back.
And TLMO and Legion Teddy and Farah did a really good job of doing what they needed to do, with TLMO harassing the back line and Legion Teddy and Surface on that Farah Mercy combo, just pinching them in. But it looks like Aziz and Zuriel was able to handle it by dropping down onto the cart. While they do give up that big old defense, it looks like they were able to hold it by dropping down and sticking together.
And the Junkrat Tower is going to be coming out, but Revi's going to manage to take it out. But Bernaya does finish off Mercy, which they're going to have to wait for her to get back if they really want to push, because without that Mercy, they'll lose one of their main healers, and plus with their res, they'll need that for their push in, as Zuriel does manage to finish off Aerial here. And with both of their tanks gone, the attacking team's going to need to fall back and regroup.
Yeah, and it looks like the attacking team just really needs to regroup here. Getting a pick on Seraphis is pretty big, and they really just need to regroup, but instead they two others got picked off as well, and as a result, they're just going to get staggered more and more, and having their ults getting fed on the side of the defense here is really not going to help them out, because they only have 1 minute and 40 seconds left. But it looks like a fight is about to break out soon, as both teams have pretty much the same ult advantage here, and Symmetra did put down the shield barrier as well.
TMO is going to use that Pulse Bomb to take Nico out of his mech, but it's not going to kill Nico as he's going to be falling back. TMO in the back line, trying to focus on the supports, trying to take them out, as the Graviton Surge is going to be coming out from Zarya. TMO does manage to take out Mercy there, which without her res, she's not going to be able to res their team, and with that momentum, they're going to be pushing the cart around this corner.
TLMO did a really good job making the big plays there. The pulse bomb didn't manage to get too much done, but it was more than enough to get the rest of the attacking team coming in here, and it looks like we're about to have another fight here as Self-Destruct gets popped onto the point.
Self-destruct does get popped onto the point, does manage to kill Lucio. Zero is focusing down far and managing to take him out, but not before Sephiroth reses Lucio again. The attack visor is coming out from Zuriel, but he doesn't quite manage to, he does manage to get both tanks, which halts their push completely, and they're going to have to regroup and push back into it.
Yeah, that was a really good job. They still had the ult advantage on defense side since they used pretty much everything with TLMAO. Was on that Tracer, but he is now on that Soldier. And when they used all their when their ults come in to push around that corner here, they really didn't have the resources to go against the tactical visor. And I think self-destruct was popped as well. So they kind of just rolled them over with their 2 ults, and they managed to hand it back.
Looks like TMO is on that Soldier, is trying to get a flanking position, but none of them are on the car, and round 1 is going to be complete.
And TLMO there, or TLMO swapping on that Soldier would have worked out if they might have swapped a little bit earlier, but unfortunately they were still running that Tracer, and while the Tracer did make a pretty big space there at the end, they weren't able to capitalize on it since the defense was just able to roll right into the tactical visor. So a little bit unfortunate there, but great job on the side of defense for handling that and using their ults appropriately.
Yeah, unfortunately, the attackers didn't have enough ults, or they just didn't use them correctly to finish off their push and push around that corner and take the first point. The defending team really had a good job saving that attack visor towards the end to focus down those 2 tanks and stop the attacking team's push completely.
And it looks like roll for initiative here is going to be running a McCree, if I'm not mistaken. And I really like McCree here to handle the Tracer if it looks like they are anticipating some sort of Tracer or some sort of Genji to screw them up on the big Earl defense. But it also just helps running this McCree just to have that nice control against the flankers as well. So I think this big Earl defense is going to be held pretty well by this McCree holding onto that flashbang and taking care of any backline harass that's going to come on through.
Yeah, the defending team is going to be running a more Deathball style comp with Reinhardt as their main tank and referee backing up on Roadhog. But on attack, we see Symmetra running Torbjorn. I'm not sure if this is a pick that he's going to keep, but we'll see, as Nico is going to be on that Winston, and Zarya is also going to be played as well, meaning they're going to be running some sort of dive comp, hybrid dive comp, if you will.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to run this Torbjorn, but the Genji, Winston, Zarya combo is definitely going to be more than enough to handle that big Earl defense. It looks like they are going to be running Torbjorn on the offense side here. They're definitely going to just put that turret on the cart as well, and then have Winston and Zarya just make lots of space on Route 6 or on this big Earl defense here. So we're gonna see how this defense plays out, or on this how this turret plays out here. But it looks like Winston's about to dive in and start harassing the defense here.
Yes, Nico does dive in, but he gets bullied off by Revy, and Revy does manage to take him out. Torbjorn is trying to build his turret in the corner there, but without a shield, it just gets focused. It just gets focused by Sema, and it does fall. Burninated in that back line, trying to get their healers, but Van damage on Aerial, and focusing him down and taking him out. With one of their main healers down as Ana, they're gonna be able to push the cart a little bit more. Torbjorn's still trying to build that turret, but without that shield to protect him, he's not gonna be able to do it. Burninated does pop his Genji blade here, and he doesn't quite get a lot of kills, but he does put damage into that Roadhog as Symmetra finishes him off. The Sephiroth is going to pop that res there, resing TMO back to try to hold on to this point longer, as Bernard is in that back line trying to focus on the supports, as he does manage to finish off Sephiroth there. Bernard also finishes off Ana with both of their supports down. This is what the attacking team needs to push on the point, as TLMO is struggling to defend his point there.
Yeah, and it looks like they're about to pop going here, as TLMO does get a nice Earth Shatter, getting 2 in here, charging Zarya, but unfortunately does manage to get taken out. Nico is diving in here, getting on that Roadhog, but looks like the Zarya Bell manages to save him and does manage to take him out. Tactical Visor gets deployed, takes out Mercy handily right in front of his face, and also takes out Lucio as well. And after that Tactical Visor, it looks like they are about to take the map.
It's really a nice job with Zuriel. He saved his ultimate again towards the end to just finish off that Mercy, because he wasn't sure if she had res, and if she had res, she would have stopped their entire push.
Yeah, and it was pretty interesting to see that Torbjorn play out, because when Nico dived into the top, usually when you're on dive comps, it doesn't matter too much if your Winston dies instantly, because you're gonna have your other dive heroes, Pharah, Genji, and all that, take care of the rest. But the way they used it here is they used Torbjorn to set up that turret on the tunnels, and when Winston died, while they didn't have any damage, they had the Torbjorn and other heroes posted up to give all that space, and as a result, they weren't really ready to handle that Torbjorn turret and other teammates on the low ground. And as a result, they really couldn't take that ground back, and then the attacking team just took that space for free essentially through that dive comp. It's a really good play there. And a little bit interesting to see how the dive comp plays out, because usually we see like Pharahs and Genjis diving onto the backline with Winston, but it was pretty fun to watch the Torbjorn play in there as well.
Yes, most definitely. I wasn't sure how that Torbjorn play was going to be playing out. To be honest, I was pretty unsure if it would work effectively, but it ended up doing its job. He did get the damage out, and he did get the correct targets, and they managed to take the point. So congratulations on Symmetra for picking off meta hero and succeeding with it.
And that was a best of one. So it looks like since Golden Weapons did, it looks like we are waiting for the next match here. But yeah, that best of one is going to come in, and in the meanwhile, we are going to be waiting for the next team to come in as well.
So I know you've been watching the match, Trumu. How did you think each team, Roll for Initiative and Golden Weapons, played in that Route 66 match?
Both teams actually did pretty well, but I saw from, I think, Golden Weapons, I forgot who was the Roadhog, but he actually had some really good hooks on targets that were actually kind of hard to hit, in my opinion. He did get a hook on Genji, but couldn't finish him off with no ammo left in his gun. But from what I saw, I think Roll for an Initiative could have used their ults a little bit more wisely, since it kind of felt like they used it just to get a pick or two. But from what I saw, it seemed pretty good, and I guess we're waiting for our next match, next team to come in.
Yeah, that Roadhog pick was didn't get too much value out of it. The nice thing about Roadhog is, especially when you're defending on that big early defense, you can just hook targets right in and pick them off really fast, since the team can't support them, even if they're running like an Ana or something, or Mercy. So it was kind of unfortunate to see that the Roadhog wasn't able to get a few key picks off there on that defense side, because it would have been really nice to get a free pick, get a nice hook against Tracer or like against Soldier, and just to get that free pick will just stagger them a lot. And especially since how Roll for Initiative was playing, they were sometimes they would just like get a pick off, and then normally they should just wait and regroup, but they ended up getting staggered some more. So that Roadhog would have really helped them there for getting snowballing that defense and just picking them up more.
Most definitely. And while we wait for our next game to start, I would like to remind everyone to check out our subreddit at reddit.com/r/Overwatch University. OW University is dedicated to helping players, casters, and coaches and get better at what they enjoy doing, playing Overwatch and helping others succeed. For more information on the University League, go to our Discord at discord.gg/Overwatch University. From there, you can sign up as a free agent or substitute if you prefer. Overwatch University League accepts everyone from all skill levels, so don't feel like you're not good enough to join. If you want to catch more of our streams in the future, follow us on Twitter at OW University. We stream every Saturday at 3 p.m. BST for EU games and 6 p.m. CST for our NA games.
Yeah, and they also throw great events like this midweek's the Midweek Madness as well. And it's also nice to see that they're, like you said before, they help out casters and coaches as well. So it's really nice to be able to get better as a caster and a coach as well. So thank you for that, Overwatch University, for giving us the opportunity to improve.
Now, while we're still waiting for a map, we all know that a new map was released. Actually, earlier today, around like 2, they released a trailer for the new Lunar Colony map. What do you guys think about the new map?
I honestly have not played it, but it looks like it was pretty fun. They have that gravity jump pad, or the zero gravity area, I think, which looks pretty cool. Low gravity, yeah. But I think it's nice to see that they didn't really overdo it, just like they did with the jump pad in Oasis, I think. Like just have zero gravity everywhere. So it's really nice to see that they didn't go overboard and kept the map design pretty clean and pretty competitive.
Yeah, and as I was watching the trailer, I noticed it's unlike any other, excuse me, 2CP map I've seen, because if you take a look at the trailer, and I've seen some YouTube videos where it shows off the map, there's long stretches between each point, and there's no really spawn advantage for each of the defenders or the attackers in this case. And also there's a lot of high ground and low ground, especially towards the second point. There's like 4 different ways to get onto the second point. You can go below, you can go above, you can go straight in, or you can go to the side. And you also go on top, which is really important, because a lot of the 2CP maps, especially on that Hanamura first point, we all know it's pretty difficult to push in, and especially on the second point for Hanamura as well.
Yeah, that's a good analysis, because that like the first one on Hanamura is definitely like really frustrating, like just as a player and like as a caster to watch too as well, because it's just like so much like of it is just waiting to get pushed, and waiting for a push to come in and being coordinated. So it's really nice to see that they have a different map variety than just pushing through a choke and getting the point.
Yes, it mostly a lot of the times it evolves into like an alt game, and like who has the alts first, and most of the time it's just the two teams picking at each other until one of them gets alt or one of them gets a lucky pick and pushes in. And even with the pick, it's really hard, because that choke just pushes into your entire team to force it through that one area, and it's really difficult if you're not a Genji or a Pharah that can go around.
Yeah, definitely. And just to give you guys an update, it looks like the other team, Scouts and Knives, are going to be on here, and it looks like we might be starting on Route 66, but it looks like we are going to be underway here with Scouts and Knives going against Golden Weapons.
I'm really interested to see what Scott Knives can bring to the table. We haven't seen him play yet, but we have seen Golden Weapons play, and I'm really interested to see how Golden Weapons goes against Scouts and Knives here.
We have seen the name is on the side of Scouts and Knives, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he played DPS, right? He played like Genji and Tracer as well.
He did. He played Genji. He also played some McCree a little bit as well.
Yeah, I remember enjoying watching that play, especially definitely. I think it was McCree on Kings Row. I forgot which team it was, but I really liked watching his McCree. I remember he got a pretty big pick on Mercy as well, so watch out for him to get some nice sneaky plays, whether on the backline supports or just against the other team in the front in general. So watch out for his McCree, watch out for his Genji, and overall it's pretty interesting to watch him play.
And it looks like, speaking of 2CP maps, we're going to be playing on Temple of Anubis. What do you usually see on defense for Temple of Anubis, Feeney, when you're casting?
It depends. So a lot of teams, especially like competitive, like quick playing competitive, you usually just see that standard bridge defense. You just stand on the bridge and you cover the right choke at the bridge area below you. And there's also other variations of that, like Reinhardt Bastion onto that bridge. So just have like a really beefy front line. So it depends on what they're gonna run, but it also depends on the offense as well. Because on offense, if you do run that Lucio on offense, then you can just rotate to wherever you want for pretty cleanly and pretty fast. So if you want to run against the left top side, you can do that. Or if you want to run just straight under them and onto the point, you can also do that as well. So it's gonna be interesting to see what both teams run and how both teams react to each other.
Yes, definitely. And it looks like as the players start to pick their heroes, we're going to be seeing a dive comp coming out from Golden Weapons here. They're only going to be using Zarya as their main tank. Oh, geez, switched up Zarya. Looks like they're going to be trying to figure out who's going to be on that tank. And if we look to Scouts and Knives, they're going to be running a traditional Reinhardt, as well with a Zarya to try to bubble him and get extra shields in there. Interestingly enough, they're also running a Zenyatta, which with their discords could be really good for defense as well.
Yeah, I think this Zenyatta will work out pretty well, especially when you're going against the Pharah. You're not going to have the support like against Pharah Mercy as much as you'd like to, but that Discord onto that Pharah or onto that Mercy is definitely going to help Beer on that soldier take out that combo. So Discord will definitely help, and but Barf as well on that Zarya is going to be able to defend against the dive on against Pharah Mercy. And they're not going really full dive here. They don't have a Winston or anything, so that bubble is going to be even more effective in this case.
Yes, I'm interested to see especially how this Mei is going to play out with Symmetra running on Mei. Mei's usually a defense character, so I really wonder what he can bring to the table and use with Mei, especially when they start pushing out on this point. And it looks like they're going to be pushing in. Mei is going to be putting that ice wall up there as they try to block the defender's vision as they all push up to the left. Looks like they're going to not be taking the high ground, but they are going to be pushing up to this corner here. And the Mei is going to be blocking them off, and they're going to be pushing all the way up to high ground, all the way on the left. But Names does go behind and finishes and takes out their Mercy, which without only Ana as their healer, they're going to have a difficult time, and they're pretty spaced out as Symmetra and Nico are on point. As Zarya drops down, those Zuriel's on the high ground trying to get a view on this Reinhardt as he does manage to take him out. Everyone's really spread out here, as the defending team, Scouts and Knives, is really scattered with only Names on the point at this point, as he's trying to defend it, trying to contest, as Zuriel does manage to take him out, and Mei does block off the entrance there to make sure Scouts and Knives doesn't defend, and it looks like this first point is going to go in Golden Weapon's favor.
Yeah, Golden Weapons looked like they were about to lose the fight there, because the name was running on that Genji, and I thought it was going to keep picking people off there, because that's one disadvantage of running that strategy of going on the top right without Lucio. While Mei is nice to block off just straight up like Reinhardt's and soldiers coming in, it's not really going to stop Genji from coming around and punishing your players that didn't rotate with you. So I really thought that Golden Weapons there was going to be in trouble, but it looks like they made it work by having solid high ground play and having very solid discords.
Birdnated does pop his Pharah ultimate there, does get Zenyatta and Soldier, as well as Mercy. So with both of their supports down for Scouts and Knives, they're going to have a difficulty holding on to it. As Names does pop his Dragon Blade, finishes off Nico, as Scouts and Knives does try to regain their footing here, but with that Rez is both some Pharah and Nico back, and they really want to hold on to this point as Bernada does finish off Zenyatta here, but Ringold with a really nice Rez coming out, rezzing Zenyatta, Soldier, and Reinhardt here, as Graviton Surge is going to be coming out bare with a huge play, like killing 4 people on Golden Weapons' side, basically single-handedly saving the point.
Yeah, Pierre did a really good job there with that Tactical Advisor, taking out 4, obviously. And that Graviton Surge really was a little bit misplaced there, because it was a little bit on the left side, and the team couldn't really capitalize on it. So good job by Beer for punishing them with that Tactical Advisor. And it looks like the red team here is going to be a little bit behind when it comes to ult economy, and they're going to have to be a little bit more careful pushing in here, because the name is almost onto that Dragon Blade, and it looks like he does manage to pick up Ana here.
Burnated is going to be popping that Pharah ultimate, but Transcendence basically stops it from occurring. Reinhardt is going to be popping his hammer down as well. Bear on that Soldier, proving he's really good with it, finishing off 2 other players, and this point's going to be held for Scouts and Knives a little bit longer.
Yeah, the name got way ahead of me there, because if you looked at, he almost had Dragon Blade, and he was already diving in their supports. And after getting that early pick on Nico, it was going to be really hard for the attacking team to push right in without that nano boost. But unfortunately, it looks like they were just going to push in, and like with Pharah popping that ultimate, and it was already too late by then. It looks like Beer is still going off on Soldier, getting a nice Helix rocket on Tracer, and it looks like we're just going to have Golden Weapons here just building up ults and waiting for a nice nano boost to initiate the fight.
Yes, looks like they're going to have to wait and regroup, because the only ults they have right now are their support ults. Zuriel is coming up and attack bias, so I expect him to be using that in the next fight, as Winston jumps in, tries to initiate the Graviton, really nice Graviton, and Name just comes in, completely obliterates the entire attacking team. Really nice Zarya and Genji combo there.
Wow, that was way too quick. That was very textbook. Graviton Surge into Dragon Blade. That was a really good play for Zarya and Genji. Just not much else to say. There's really good, clean fight. Getting pretty much the whole team and just dashing them through and getting them all. But watch out for Golden Damage here, as they have the ult advantage now. However, the name does take out Burninated, and that's going to slow down Golden Damage a little bit more. Fortunately, they still have 3 minutes to build up ults and group up here. So look to have them push here with their big ult advantage.
Now, both Mercies do have their Resurrection ultimate up, so expect a bunch of reses coming out in the next fight. Azuriel still has that Tac Visor. Maybe they're going to do Nano Tac Visor for the next fight as well. Symmetra is close to his Winston ult. He's probably going to come in to initiate, as Symmetra is going to be jumping in here, but he gets taken out by Butt, meaning that won't have their Winston there. The Tac Visor is coming out from Zuriel. He also gets Nano boosted. He just finished off Bear. But looks like the Scouts and Knives is going to be holding on this point as Butt is going off. He takes out Tracer as well as Ana. And Zuriel used his Tac Visor but only got one pick off of it.
Yeah, as you can see there, Golden Damage was kind of flustered when Symmetra kind of just jumped in and died. And it's not bad that Winston died in the fight. I think it was just a little bit disorienting for them to walk in like 2 seconds without Winston covering them, and as a result they kind of just lost a lot of coordination, and they let Beer on Soldier. They just get away with a tactical visor, taking out the other soldier, and as a result their push got taken down.
A really nice charge by Reinhardt here. Is he going to pin Winston, but Winston pops his Promo Rage. Names with his Dragon Blade does finish off Az, who had Resurrection, meaning they won't have res for this fight, as Beer does finish out Burninated as well. Names on Genji, just cleaning up house, as looks like they're going to be holding on to this point as the rest of the defending team pushes in to help.
Yeah, and it looks like Nico there doesn't get taken out, and the main damage on that Zarya doesn't get taken out, so it's going to be a little bit of a stagger for Golden Damage. And they really cannot afford to be staggering at this point. As Aziz dies as well, yeah, they really can't be affording to stagger because they only have a minute left. And while they are close to having a few more ults, like Zuriel are going to have Tactical Visor here soon, it is going to be a little bit close to them. Looks like Nico here switched from Ana to Lucio, and this is going to change the way they're going to approach this, because usually they would just rely on the Nano Boost Winston combo here, but when they switched on to that Orisa and that Lucio, it looks like they're just going to be relying on that Lucio to rotate them cleanly in, and Orisa coming in here. It looks like they're going to do just that, and the fight's about to break out here.
As Zarya does push in here, but it gets taken out by Reinhardt. The Transcendence is coming out from Thanks, as well as the Whole Hog, just burying down Symmetra, as she does get rezzed by the Mercy. Bear, with his Tac Visor, does manage to finish off Tracer, and Names going in with his Genji finishes off Orisa, as well as Mercy here as well. And it looks like they're going to be defending this point, as Names with his Dragon Blade just to finish off the job, finishes off Bane damage, and looks like they'll be holding this point for round one.
Yeah, Scouts and Knives did a really good job there, especially Beer on that Soldier, holding that left side really well, and looks like Golden Damage really didn't know how to answer it. Well, they did have Winston jump in and Zarya bubble him. They still weren't able to handle him rotating around and deploying Tactical Visor in their flank. It was really unfortunate that Nico on Ana was holding on to Nano Boost for a long time. And it wasn't because he just didn't know how to use it. It's just because there really wasn't an opportunity to use Nano Boost with his team, and as a result, he was kind of just holding onto that ult for maybe 2, maybe 3 fights. So that Lucio pick earlier would have been nicer, because it looks like if they did run that Lucio, that Lucio and that Orisa specifically, they could have a bunch more options, like pushing into the left, boosting in, dropping a shield, and just taking the point with their Orisa shield and their space. But unfortunately, Nico and his team wasn't able to push on through with their support ultimates.
Yes, and Name was doing a really good job at focusing the supports, as Oz was having a really tough time even using his res. He basically had it for 2-3 fights in a row, and he couldn't use it because he kept getting focused and kept getting taken out. He only managed to use it at the end there, resing one person, but a good job Names focusing down Mercy there.
Yeah, and you see names doing work on the first point and the second point as well. Even when they golden damage first pushed initially, he was able to get picks. Even though they still lost the fight, it really showed that the name is really competent on Genji on that defense side when it comes to stopping their pushes. And he stopped like 2 or 3 pushes just from getting a pick on Nico, getting a pick on Aziz alone. So the name is really giving a lot of value for his team.
And as we come into the fight here, we are going to be seeing on the attacker side, Dive Comp coming out with Winston and Zarya as their main tanks. For defense, we're going to be seeing only Roadhog and Zarya. Symmetra is on Symmetra, of course, as we're going to be pushing in the attacking team. It looks like they're going to be going left around as Names does dive in to try to pressure that Zarya. It's a 5v5 now as Zero managed to finish off Bear. Looks like the attacking team is pushing onto point. Symmetra tries to go behind, trying to get Mercy there, but just gets slept but burninated on that Roadhog, finishes off Names and Butt Barf, and looks like they're going to be having this defense.
And Gold Weapons did a really good job of playing really back there, and it looks like Scouts and Knives wasn't really expecting that. They were really expecting, use Lucio to just rotate in and go against whatever fortification they had. And it looks like they were expecting just a regular bridge defense, but it looks like they weren't expecting Golden Weapons to take the high ground, especially with Zuriel and Aziz staying up there and just looking at everything. And as a result, they kind of just took a lot of damage on the way in and got cleaned up when they eventually got onto the point.
Yeah, are going to be pushing right as Burninated does get a really nice pick on Beer. That Symmetra teleporter is up, so even if one of the defending teams dies, they're going to get back quickly. But this push is halted as Reindeer does go down as well.
It looks like the name is managed to snipe Symmetra's teleporter, even though Symmetra was trying to block the shurikens with her body. They managed to snipe it, so it was kind of a little funny exchange there. But good job by the name is for finding the teleporter and taking it out.
Yes, without that teleporter, Symmetra's going to have to rebuild her ult yet again, and I don't even think they teleported anyone, so good job on Names trying to get back there and finishing it as quickly as possible. We are going to be seeing the attacking team pushing in as Nico does manage to take out Names. It's going to be a 5v6 as they're pushing into this. Looks like they're going to be having trouble as they're kind of bullied off Roadhog on that high ground. The attack visor is going to be popped from Zuriel as he manages to finish off Farah as well as Mercy, and with those 3 kills taking out both support and the tank, this push is over.
Yeah, and it looks like Zero did a good job there with that tactical advisor. It looks like Ringgold and Beer was not really ready for that tactical advisor, but you see Beer get melted instantly there. I think she was flying in, and once that pick happened, it was kind of just clean up from there because it looks like both Beer and Ringgold wasn't ready for that tactical advisor, and as a result, they just got picked up.
Whole Hog is going to be coming out from Roadhog as well as Promoid from Winston. The Sound Barrier is going to be pumped for the attacking team as they use it to push in Name with the Genji ultimate. Focuses both support, taking them all out as well as Zarya and Soldier, and that's what they need to push in and take the point as Burdinated is the only one on point. He's really trying hard to contest, but Reindeer finishes him off, and this point is going to be for the attackers.
And great job there by the name is with that Dragon Blade, and great job by Butt Barf getting a nice bubble in. If he didn't get that bubble in, I'm pretty sure he would have either got shot up with Soldier or would have gotten hooked in, as well as Ringgold for keeping it up while in that Dragon Blade as well. So great job for supporting the Genji with the Dragon Blade and giving the name is the opportunity to go off with that ultimate.
Symmetra is going to be placing a a shield generator behind point, meaning that they're all going to have an extra 75 shields as Reinhardt, the Reindeer, is going to be pushing in. He is now in Reinhardt now instead of Winston. As they try to push in, they really want to get that shield generator, but it doesn't look like they're going to manage to do it. But Ringgold with the versus Reinhardt, Genji, and Soldier. And the shield generator is going to be falling to Reindeer, and with that res, they're going to be using to push in as Names does pop his Dragon Blade, finishing off Nico, and that Graviton Surge is going to be coming out, but the res from AZ is going to be rezzing all of them back. but the counter to Graviton Surge is going to be coming out with Fernated on that whole hog, trying to hold him back as Reindeer is going to be popping his hammer down. His really nice pin on Symmetra. Azuriel is going to be popping his ultimate, but he only manages to finish off Ringgold as they're basically coming in one by one, trying to contest. Names dashes through Zuriel, managing to take him out, but they're going in one by one. Bane Damage has switched to D.Va to try to hold in, contest a little bit more. Fernated is on switch onto Tracer now. They're going in his full stall comp. They really want to defend this point as they're all going to be falling as Names finishes off Zuriel. Thanks is going to be finishing off Burdenated, and looks like they're going to be holding this point. They're trying to take it back as Butt Barf is taking out Symmetra. As Beer, as Names has his Dragon Blade again. He really wants to bully him off point as Reindeer does a really nice Flame Strike, takes D.Va out of her mech. Names with his Dragon Blade finishes off Zuriel. This fight is going on and on as they keep contesting, but it's too late, and the match is over.
And Golden Damage was stalling for the longest time. So good job there. The initial push was pretty much over for Scouts and Knives because Reinhardt got really greedy for the shield generator and manages to go in that dark room there and just went for the shield generator all alone and got melted by turrets on there as well. And while his other team was fighting outside onto the point. And so when Reinhardt got taken out instantly and the team had no front line to get taken out instantly, it was pretty much over for Scouts and Knives. But Ringgold with that nice 3-man res manages to come back and get that res in. And yeah, this is a really nice, clean play. Not to say about there, just really good Graviton Surge, really good Dragon Blade, just very solid, clean play. But yeah, the end fight there was pretty much over with Scouts and Knives. And while Golden Weapons did a good job, also got a 3-man res out, and also to stop the Graviton Surge, they weren't able to handle the Dragon Blade on the Name Is, and then as a result, they just tried to stagger more and more. But at that point, it's pretty much over as they didn't really have the resources to fight them onto the point.
Yes, and they didn't end up switching to an entire stall comp just to try to hold on to that point for a little while longer. That fight did draw out for a pretty long while, but Scouts and Knives did hold firm and did manage to finish capping. Really nice play on both teams.
Yeah, definitely. And this is a best of one, so it looks like Golden Weapons is going to be out in the group stages, and looks like Scouts and Knives will be moving on. I'm excited to see more play from the Name Is. He was doing a really good job on Genji, both on offense and defense. On offense, he was, doing the usual Genji stuff, coming in, getting supported by his team, and, taking out key targets. But I really like seeing his Genji on defense as well, managing to not only find, key targets to pick, but also finding key targets to pick at the right time. Like when he took out Nico on the second point, and taking him out instantly while the fight was about to happen was pretty big, because if they knew that Nico was going to die, they were definitely not going to push in. But the Name Is finding the opportunity at the right time and just take them out and stopping the whole push.
Yes, Name Is definitely a really good player on Scouts and Knives, but don't forget Ringgold, because with that 3-man res, without it, I don't think they would have been able to take that point. So really nice 3-man res off from Ringgold there.
Yeah, Ringgold has been getting pretty good reses, and like you said before, that last fight was pretty much over for Scouts and Knives until Ringgold got that 3-man res onto Reinhardt and onto Genji and onto Soldier. So good job at Ringgold for knowing where to position and knowing where to tuck himself in to get the plays when it matters the most.
So Truma, you were watching that last match. What did you think of it?
Let's see. That last match was actually really good.
Looks like Truma's gonna having some technical difficulties.
Sorry. I forgot to.
Oh, okay. Looks like he's back.
I forgot to mute my Discord mic again. But the last match was actually really good since from what I saw, the Name Is on that Genji was going off with all his Dragon Blades, and with that sextuple kill during their defense. That's probably the play of the match, obviously. But he did really well on the Genji, helping, attacking, and defending, and was probably what Scouts Knives was looking for out of using him. But Barf on the Zarya and Roadhog actually did pretty well too, since he got good picks and got good gravitons.
Yeah, Barf's Roadhog was really good as well. We didn't really talk about it too much, but Barf got a few really good picks, especially when coming into the point. Especially when they were going against a pretty weird defense when they were on the high ground. Barf manages to open it up with the with a nice hook onto the high ground. And on the when they were defending too, they also got a nice like hook initially onto either Soldier or Mercy, I forgot. But when he got that nice initial hook, he was able to open it up for his team on both offense and defense as well.
Yes, most definitely. And all the people on Scouts and Knives did really well in their respective roles. Ringgold got really nice reses names on that Genji. We all know he got really nice Dragon Blades there. Bear using his on DPS as well, focusing down those correct targets. Thanks as well, doing a really nice job. Reindeer on his tank. Reinhardt really protecting his team really well. But Buff on that Roadhog as well, focusing down and getting those really nice picks. And it looks like we'll be having the second team come in. I'm going to be inviting someone.
Yep.
And it looks like we're going to have our third match, I believe.
Yes. It's going to be Roll for Initiative versus Scouts and Knives.
Okay. Roll for Initiative was playing pretty well, especially TLMO was able to make space with either his Tracer or even with his Soldier too. He was able to make space and make room for his team to push on in. So I'm interested to see how that matchup of TLMAO versus the name is going to work out, because they're both pretty good DPS players when it comes to flanking the back line, both on attack and defense as well.
Yes, I'm really interested to see if we can see any 1v1s coming out here.
And it looks like we're going to be going to Gibraltar for this map, if I'm not mistaken, instead of Temple of Anubis or Route 66. And it looks like we're about to start in here with Roll for Initiative versus Scouts and Knives on Gibraltar.
Yes, and we have seen both of these teams fight before, but we haven't seen them fight each other, and I'm really interested to see what they're going to be doing against each other. We all know Name is really good on that Genji. TLMO is really good on that Tracer as well. Just as you said before, it's really interesting to see these two DPS guys going head-to-head on Once Gibraltar here. And we're going to be starting the match with about 33 seconds left to prepare. We're going to be seeing the heroes come out from each one, as looks like we're going to be seeing Mercy coming out for the attackers, as well as an Orisa, which is a combo with the Reinhardt. We're going to have a lot of shields. It's going to be Barrier Watch all around, definitely. And for the defending team, we're going to be seeing a Junkrat providing that spam through that, probably through that choke on top. We're also going to be seeing a Lucio and Ana as well.
So Kabooks, I know when you had your match last, you were running Barrier Watch with Reinhardt and Orisa. How do you think those two heroes are playing out in this meta?
I know this meta is dive comp, but the barrier meta, the Barrier Watch meta, does have a little bit trouble dealing with dive comp. But if you play correctly, it can be really effective, especially when we play our home map on Kings Row. We can show you how effective we usually are. My team, that is.
I can hear you smiling over the mic right now. You love Kings Row.
I love Kings Row. We're going to be playing that we're going to be casting that for the finals, and I can't wait to cast that.
It looks like we're going to be running a pretty standard lineup here on defense. Here we're going to have Reinhardt. We're going to have Reinhardt on here on the top. We have far out roaming around that walkway area as well. But it looks like TLMO is going to be switching onto that Soldier, which I think is a pretty good pick on defense here on that first point, because you have so much high ground to work with, especially on the crates here. Like, you can just walk on that walkway, and if you need to go back, you can always go back up to the crates. So overall, TLMO on that Soldier is a good choice to rotate and take space with that sprint and with just overall high ground advantage.
Looks like we're going to have an interesting development going for the attacking team. They're going to be playing Protect the President comp, meaning they're going to put their Bastion on the cart and they're going to put all the shields around him. And this is sometimes hard to break through, but with the right heroes, you can easily play through it and defend. But it looks like they're going to be pushing underneath the bridge past his bear. There's a quick pick on Legendary, but TLMO is on that high ground. He finishes off Bastion. Without their main source of DPS, the attacking team doesn't quite know what to do. TLMO is on that high ground. He just dropped down, finishes off Bear, as Orisa is going to be slept really nice sleep on Cement's side, as they're really going to have to push back this point and try to take it. as Ranger does push in, finishes off Cement. TMO is going to be back on that high ground trying to push in. Bastion does get back. He finishes off Farah. And really nice Reinhardt coming down from Reindeer here as both Reinhardts manage to pin each other, but Reindeer does come out on top with names, is back on Bastion. He is set there, finishing off foe after foe as he finishes off Cement as well. And this point is going to be going in the hand of the attack team.
Yeah, they were just not ready for that composition there. As you can see, there was a swap onto D.Va on the early era at the moment they saw that Bastion, but before yeah, he was playing another hero. I forgot which, but that swap was directly just to counter Bastion. But before that, they just were not ready, and as a result, like Barrier Watch and and the Bastion onto the cart is just a little bit too much right now for the defending team, as they are rolling on through the hangar here.
TMO seems like to be the only one trying to shoot at the cart. He does have high ground initiative. He really wants to focus on that Bastion. He's going to be using the high ground to his advantage. As really nice sleep comes out from Ana as they sleep that Bastion, but they really have to start contesting it as Bastion does use his tank form, but he's really low health. He gets immediately destroyed by Cement, and that tank mode is going to be going a little bit to waste there as they Butt Barf is going to be focused on Revy and taking him out as well. But without their Bastion, they're going to need to fall back and regroup.
Yeah, and it looks like goal for damage here is finally getting taken out as TLMA on that roll for initiative, trying to harass the Mercy here. Yeah, they managed to fall on through here because they finally managed to break through the that Bastion defense, and TLMO here pops back to the visor, tries to ring run the Rosie, and does get taken out by a nice orb on Zenyatta. And it looks like Bastion is still pushing on through here as Golden Damage still is running that Bastion, Reinhardt, and Orisa.
And without anyone to contest them except the D.Va and Cement, who's on Ana, they're going to be getting back to this point. Looks like Bastion's waiting for his Mercy pocket to get back. He's going to be taking that high ground, but Ariel, who's on that D.Va, trying to defense matrix him, he's going to be popping that D.Va ultimate. It's not going to get anyone, but it does provide a clear as they really need that space to try to regroup. Revy is going to be coming back up. There's shields coming up for each team. Bastion does have his take mode again. Revy tries to hammer him down, but he misses Bastion as Bastion does manage to take off Legion there on Farah and manage to take out Ariel. And this point's going to be in the hands of the attacking team yet again.
Yeah, they still need to take care of this Bastion here. It looks like even without the two barriers around him, they're still having a hard time for good reason too, because Bastion is tanky, very tanky on Sentry mode alone. So it's going to take a little bit more on the side of the defending team to handle this Bastion, more than D.Va, and probably need more than Farah and Soldier as well.
And it looks like Ariel has left the game. He might have gotten a disconnect, so we are paused for now. Oh. Looks like we have the wrong map. I'm sorry for the difficulty there. Looks like Walsh Point Gibraltar is not this map in the phase. It's supposed to be Ilios.
That's a little bit unfortunate there because this map they're just rolling on through with this comp right here with this Bastion, Reinhardt, Orisa, and it's unfortunate that if the map is not supposed to be Gibraltar, then it's really unfortunate because they're just blowing on through. However, it looks like we are going to be going back to the lobby and we are going to be swapping into Ilios. In the meanwhile, since we still did have a DC, we are going to be waiting for one more member of Roll for Initiative to come on through.
Yes, he did get disconnected, but it's not really at a loss because we were at the wrong map. But we have the correct map now. It's supposed to be Ilios, and on Ilios, you can't really do Barrier Watch and protect the President comp because there is no payload to push. So what do you think we're going to be seeing for each of these teams on Ilios?
Definitely Dive Comp. Like you said, Flavor of the Month is Dive Comp, and it's going to be pretty much who's going to run it better. I have this feeling that Scouts and Knives are going to be running it a little bit better just because they have the name is on that Genji pretty intimately familiar with the back line of the enemy team and diving in against them. So I have a feeling that they're going to be running the better dive comp here, but we're going to see because, as we said before, Roll for Initiative does run a pretty good dive comp. When we saw them before, they were running Tracer on TLML or TLMO, so it's going to be interesting to see if they are able to pull it off against Scouts and Knives as dive comp.
Yes, definitely, and it's going to be really interesting to see how each of these teams use dive comp and how effective they're going to be on them. I know Ranger was playing that Winston on Anubis for the first point, and I wonder if he's going to go that again for Ilios, because if they're going to be running dive comp, he's going to need to be running that and try to be effective as he can.
Yeah, definitely. And Buttbarf is for sure on the side of the Scouts and Knives is definitely going to be running on that Zarya, in my mind. He might be running that Roadhog, because especially on Well, because Roadhog is so good on Well. He is going to be running one of those two heroes, because they're just both way too good to pass up onto these King of the Hill maps.
And we're sorry for the delay. Ariel is still missing in action here. So we're trying to get him back into the game, but even though we're not supposed to be in Watchpoint Gibraltar, what did you think? We got a really good image of what these teams do on the payload maps and how they attack and how they defend. So I'm going to bring in Trumu again. Trumu, what did you think about that first point part on Watchpoint Gibraltar there?
The first part on Gibraltar was, like you said, protect the president, and that actually gave them the first point. But since that name is on Bachin, which was actually kind of a surprise when I saw it, since he's usually on that Genji from all the games we casted with him, or when he was in the match. So that was a surprise, and then he actually looks like he can actually do some good damage on Bastion when he also had his ult on before Ariel left. He did I think get a triple kill or quadruple kill, and gave them the right to push to the second point. But I guess while we I actually put it on the wrong map because I read something wrong, but it should be on Elios, and we're waiting for Ariel to join back
Ariel.
or sub.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Ariel's coming back or not, but it looks like we are still waiting around for him. I'm not sure if we're gonna get a sub for Roll for Initiative, but we're gonna see here. There's a Beard suggested that we play 5v6 and he plays Torb. I wouldn't like to see that. I want to see just a regular game of Overwatch. I don't know about you, but hopefully Ariel or at least another sub does come back.
Yes, really unfortunate that Ariel left when he did. It was probably a disconnect. Hopefully he's able to get back his internet and come back into the game. Otherwise, we're going to have to be looking for a sub. So back to what we were talking about before, the new map. Lunar base, I think it was called the lunar base, right? It's on the moon. They have a zero gravity part to it. They've been talking about adding these different sorry, but Barf interrupt. But Barf is a girl, so we're gonna be referring to him as her from now on. We apologize for the accident there. So going back to the new map, Lunar, I did watch the developer update, and Jeff Kaplan was really talking about adding these strange new things to the oncoming maps. What do you think about these new gimmicky parts of the maps, especially like the zero gravity part of this new one?
I hope they keep it the same level, kind of like Oasis did, with the jump pad and what they're doing now with Lunar, with just one area zero gravity. I don't mind these small little places, and I think that they're conscious of not adding a whole map of zero gravity, where you just walk around zero gravity and have Widow snipe you from the ground. That's no fun. That's not even competitive. So I'm sure they're aware that these gimmicky things can only go so far. But I would like to see more map mechanic type of things. Not you have to get 3 cannons or something to get the objective to win, but just a little bit more interesting map interactions. That would be fun to see. As long as they're not so gimmicky, it would be fun to see the pretty cool map interactions without it being not competitive.
Yes, most definitely. Trumu, what do you think about the new gimmicky stuff that they're putting into the
I
map?
actually tested it on the PTR a little today, and it was like, how can I say? It's a small portion map, much like the jump pad, and it's actually kind of large for a CP map. From what if you can count all the CP maps in together, it's more spread out and more team fights are going to happen between the points than on like Volskaya or Hanamura on only the points. It was actually really interesting, and like what you said was Widow can actually get easy picks when they're with the zero gravity since it's a slow moving object going kind of not that fast down, and a good Widow can easily snipe that. So hopefully Jeff Kaplan and the Overwatch team can see probably know about this and trying to fix it.
Okay, it looks like Ariel has not returned yet. We might need to get a sub after all. Um, Trumu, do you know how to maybe get a sub in here?
No, Pimp is looking for one right now, I guess.
Okay. So we can confirm Pimp Dickerv is actually looking for a sub right now. So we will get this match hopefully underway shortly. We apologize for the mistaken map. It wasn't supposed to be Watch by Gibraltar. We are on Ilios now. We got it. We also apologize for the fact that Ariel disconnected. So we really hope that we have no more delays. But hopefully we can get started soon.
It's all good, man. You know, like midweek. It's not called Midweek Madness for nothing, right?
Yeah.
It does look like
we
they
also
found
have to.
it does look like they have a sub. Found a sub.
Okay.
Looks like Cardboard is coming to save the day. So shout out to you, Cardboard, for coming in and subbing in here.
Yes, you are a hero of the day, Cardboard. True MVP.
So it looks like the competitive season is starting soon. Any of you guys have any goals, like SR goals, or just like overall like hero goals that you're trying to reach this season?
Personally, for me, I've been stuck in low diamond for about like 2 seasons now. I have climbed up from gold, I've gotten to platinum, and I've gotten to diamond, and now I've gotten to low diamond. I'm consistently staying like around there, and I really want. I know it's a long shot, but I really want to get into masters this season. It's like the high goal. Like I know Feeney, you're in masters. Maybe you can. After this cast, you can provide me some secret information on how to get up there.
Dude, all I do is just like point and click, and then they die, and that's all I got in the master. Actually, I played Mercy.
So
I played Mercy this season, so you know, master was given to me. That's the secret tip.
Oh, let's not upset any Mercy mains out there.
So the flavor of the month is dive, so just play dive heroes and master easy.
Yes, I was playing a lot of Winston recently, and I was usually you all know that I play Tracer. I have like 100 hours or something on Tracer. So for this season, I'm probably going to be playing Tracer and Winston.
Do you think Tracer is still good in this meta? Like usually when we're on dive comps, we usually see like Pharah and like Winston's and Genji as the like other DPS. But do you still use Tracer, and do you still think that Tracer is pretty good here in these dive comps?
Tracer does have her place, but like every other hero, she does have her weaknesses on certain maps and against certain team comps. I see myself running Winston a lot more just because Tracer is usually focused more, and especially with the McCree buff coming up, that's like a soft nerf to the side like of Tracer, because McCree can now, I believe, he can lock onto his Deadeye faster. Speaking of the changes in the PTR, what do you guys think of the new changes, especially to McCree and Reaper and to Roadhog? I know he did get a nerf on his damage.
I think Reaper's is pretty cool, actually. One thing I'm very happy about is that Roadhog nerf, or not nerf, but like they changed they leveled out their DPS, right? So it's not so bursty. Like he gets one more shot, but like the overall like damage per second is still there. But I'm glad to see that they reduced the actual shot damage, because it's really frustrating to like just randomly die to a Roadhog right click. I don't know if that happens to you, but it happens to me a lot, and it's just it's just really annoying to like do that. So it's nice to see that they still kept the balance by leveling out his DPS. It's just less ridiculous on like per shot basis. So overall, I really like the Reaper changes, and I'm happy that Roadhog is getting changed.
Yes, and we all, especially me as Tracer, getting one shot by Roadhog is the worst feeling. Uh, but these McCree changes, do you think McCree is going to be used more, especially with this change to Deadeye?
Uh, I'm not sure because right now what we usually see like high level like McCree is just to run like Deadeye, not necessarily for like just the kills. It's just necessarily for the zone control. And unless I'm missing something in the PTR, I don't think it'll change. I think it won't change like whether McCree's used more or less. It'll just be a nice like quality of life change, and the actual usage of how how people use McCree's will pretty much stay the same. I think.
I did take a glance at the patch notes before I started the cast tonight, and I did notice they increased McCree's lock on from it was 0.8 seconds, I believe, and now it's 0.4 or 0.2. I'm sorry if I get it wrong. I just read it really quickly. And they also changed his when he locks on, the damage over time it gains per hero. So meaning his also the speed of lock on is increased from it usually got from 0 to 40, but now it's 0 to 80 damage for that second it takes to lock on. But without further ado, Cardboard is here, the man of the hour. Thank you, Cardboard, for subbing in for Ariel. And we're on Ilios. We got the correct map this time. We're going to be hopping in, hopefully, in the next few minutes, maybe next 10 seconds.
Yeah, and like we said before, sorry about getting the wrong map here, but it looks like we are going to be on Ilios soon. We're just waiting to see if Cardboard is ready, and we're going to get the match underway. And like I said before, we are pretty much going to be running dive comp on dive comp here. I'm at least a Winston, at least a Pharah. Maybe he's alright, maybe a Roadhog. It just depends on the map. But look to see both teams running some sort of variation of a dive comp, and look for them to look to harass each other's backlines and whatnot.
Yes, especially on the well, I think we're going to be seeing a Roadhog pick from one or other team, or both teams, because that well, we really like to hook and get those environmental kills on that thing.
And it looks like we are about to hop in here, and the first map is actually going to be Ruins, and Ruins is a really good map for Widow, and it looks like we are going to be running a Widow and TLMO. Widow's really good in this map just because of the really long sight lines here, and if you just take a peek at the map, you can just see that there's so much for Widow to do, not only on the point but on the sides of the point as well. Whether it be on the the construction area on the right side or on the left side by the statue, you can control a lot of space and a lot of objectives, like the big health pack in the middle, or the just the position, the high ground position on the left side as well. So overall, Widow is a really good map here, but look to see heroes like Genji on that name is to look for that Widow and make her life as hard as possible.
We are going to be, as we predicted, we are going to be seeing dive coming out from both teams. Each team running a Winston, but Winston as their only tank. They are going to be running both. They're both going to be running Tracer, both going to be running Pharah. The only difference is we're going to have a Genji played by names, and TLMO is going to be running that Widowmaker.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit interesting here for roll for initiative because they do have the Winston to take care of that Genji, but like you said, there's only one tank, so TLMO is going to have to do a little bit more legwork on defending himself since his Cardboard and that Winston is trying to do the main tanking here, but it looks like he almost gets taken out immediately here as the red team pushes right in.
Yes, and the red team really got in and tried to bully him off the point, as they are going to be trying to take it now, but not if the other team has anything to say about it, as they really wanted to push on there and take it, but looks like it's going to be taken as Bear just finished off Revy, and with their main healer down, and also TLMO is going to be falling, that's going to be the end of their push there.
Yeah, really good job to just pushing into pressing in against the team here in the first point. The Roll for Initiative lost a lot of ground there. Even though they did have that Widow, they weren't really able to take any key picks. And as a result, they just kind of walked right in and took that ground. And TLMO is going to be switching off to that Widow and onto that Soldier as well. A little bit more of a solid pick, and it's pretty much going to be the only way to handle that Pharah Mercy. So we're going to see how the Roll for Initiative handles dive comp with that Soldier.
And Tracer is going to be popping in there, trying to get a touch on point, but then she immediately falls back to the rest of her team, as it looks like Scouts and Knives is going to be pushed back to the point, and Roll for Initiative is going to be pushing in, trying to take it. TMO is going to be focusing down Bear, going to be taking him out, but Names is going to be taking out their only tank, Cardboard. But Legion on that far just focused down Names and Reindeer, who went a little too deep, and with that, that could be what they needed to push and take the point, and it looks like they're going to be taking it.
Yeah, Reindeer was making a lot of space, but unfortunately, like you said, he overextended. It's not so bad that if Reindeer did die on their since they're running a dive composition. It's just a little bit too far there since they were still fighting for the point, and since he didn't get any support, he kind of just managed to get picked out, and Roll for Initiative just punished them by pushing right on in.
And it looks like Scouts and Knives are regrouping, waiting for the Tracer, who got a little staggered to get back and push in, as they're going to be pushing in. Looks like Winston's going to be pushing around left. He's trying to jump up and get a pick, but he takes too much damage. He's going to be falling back. Cardboard is going to be diving in on that Tracer. He really wants to focus him. The Cardboard is going to be popping Primal Rage, and the Soundbearer is going to be coming out for Scouts and Knives, as Attack Visor is going to be coming out as well from TLMO. He's going to be taking down both the DPS here, but Reindeer with that Primal Rage just finished off TLMO after he killed those two. The res is going to be resing Buttbarf. Questionable res is the only res trace there, but Buttbarf does manage to do work and finishes off Brevi, but right after Summit finishes off Ringgold here. This point is still in the hands of Roll Initiative here, as the Pulse Bomb is going to be coming out. Not going to get anyone though, as the Dragon Blade is going to be coming out from Names. He does get 2 of the DPS here, as well as Bear with his really well-placed far ultimate does get Cardboard and Surfers. But Rev coming in. This point is not over yet, as they really want to defend it to the very last second, as he gets a nice 3-man res out, resing Soldier and Lucio there. Ranger jumping onto the supports, finishing them both off, and with both supports down for Roll Initiative, this point is in the hands of Scouts and Knives again.
Scouts and Knives did a really good job there of handling that. I really thought that the fight was going to end a little bit sooner when Revi got picked off by the name is, but Revi managed to come in just in time, get a triple man res. But it looks like Scouts and Knives managed to just come on through because they still had ults like Rocket Barrage to handle the res. So great job there, great use of ultimates from Scouts and Knives.
The Primal Rage is going to be popped from Winston, both Winstons in fact. They are going to be fighting on the point. The Rocket Barrage is going to be coming out from Legion as well. Cardboard managed to finish off Bear there, as both Winstons are in their enemy team's backlines trying to push in his Names. Pops his Dragon Blade yet again. He is focusing down that Winston. He doesn't get anyone. He does manage to finish off Cardboard at the very last second. Summon with that Pulse Bomb finishes off Ringgold there, but he immediately gets taken out by Reindeer, and without that backup, they're not going to be able to take the point.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate that Cement wasn't able to get that or to build that Pulse Bomb right off the bat, because when they were running that dive comp, they really didn't have any way to handle like Winston just not dying and making a play. So as a result, when they didn't have that, when that Winston got taken out instantly, and they didn't have anything to fall back on, like maybe a Tracer pick, they kind of just fell apart there towards the end, since that was their only tank, and they just got melted. And once their main tank was gone, it was pretty hard for the backline to stay up and fight against the Scouts and Knives. So great job there by Scouts and Knives for handling the other team pretty well, and to go against that Tracer and that Winston as well.
As we come into the second point, we're going to be seeing some changes up in team comp. TLMO is going to be going on that Tracer with Cement on that McCree as we push in and see that both teams engaging, as TLMO is going to be trying to dive in there to focus on the back line, but he really wants to focus down that far there, as they're going to be pushing in. They're slowly going to be pushing back into point, as Scouts and Knives does manage to get to point first, but Summit does finish off Ringgold, and without their main healer, and only Lucio has healed, they could be in trouble, but Bear is doing work in the back line as he finishes off 2 of them, as both teams are pushing on point. Cement on that McCree does finish off Reindeer, who is their only tank, but Name is trying to kill him as only Lucio is on this point. Tracer and Genji and Lucio are on this point. Pulse Bomb does come out, doesn't quite manage to get anyone, as both teams only have a few people on the point. The Pulse Bomb again comes out from Bear, but doesn't get anyone as well. TMO does manage to finish off Bear, as really Ranger really does not want to give up this point, as he's really pushing in. The Dragon Blade is going to come out from Names, finishing off Sephiroth as TMO, but Barb does manage to finish off Legion there, and they really want to defend this point. No one has gotten it yet. Not a single percent has been taken. Primal Rage is going to be popped from Winston, but he gets taken out. And this point is going to be going in the hands of Scouts and Knives.
Yeah, and Scouts and Knives did a really good job, especially the Name is on that Genji, holding on to the point for it seemed like forever, going up against Tracer and the other Genji and managing to hold their own until his old team got there. It was really unfortunate that they weren't able to take out the Name since they do have Cement on that McCree, being able to handle both Genji and Tracer, but unfortunately he was taken out really early by Winston, I think, and as a result they weren't really able to handle the Genji and Tracer as McCree would like to. But however, it looks like they're about to go in as Reindeer pops Primal Rage here.
As Primal Rage is popped, there are 2 picks in favor of blue team as they're pushing in here. Transcendence is popped Cement with a really nice Deadeye, takes out Rengold and Butt Barb, and looks like they have the advantage here. Cement also cleans up Lucio, and this point is going to be going in the hands of blue team.
Yeah, and you really see Cement really finally starting to show that effective it was on that McCree, not only with the high need, but just the overall control of Tracer of Genji with that flashbang. Still having a little bit of trouble just because both heroes are really maneuverable and really hard to take care of with just one McCree. But this McCree pick is is paying off slowly but surely here. Does manage to almost get taken out with McCree on that Tracer, but he managed to get away. So overall, this McCree is paying off slowly but surely. But it looks like Winston here gets a nice pick on Revy, and Cardboard does get taken out as well, and look for Red Team to push right on in.
Yeah, Ranger is going to jump straight into that backline, focusing on their supports, immediately taking them out. TMO does get a nice pulse bomb on Reindeer. Their main tank is down, but they have the man advantage against TMO. He does get taken out, and this point's going to be going back in the hands of Scouts and Knives.
Yeah, Scouts and Knives has a huge ult advantage here. Looks like Beer is looking for a play and does manage to get it, and Legion Teddy gets taken out. That's going to stagger roll for initiative a little bit longer here. We're going to get a few more percentage off of that nice Tracer bomb. But yeah, Scouts and Knives is having a huge ult advantage here. It's going to be a little bit of trouble for the blue team to push right in, as they don't really have the ults. The only thing that that they can do is try to look for a quick Rocket Barrage pick here, and it looks like Far does get a nice clean pick on Buttbarf on the other side. And even though they did have the ult advantage, it looks like blue team has still managed to push right in here with those 2 picks.
Dragon Blade is going to be coming out from Names, as well as a sound barrier on the same team. He doesn't get anyone, and he gets finished off by Cardboard. Unfortunate. And also the Primal Range is popped from Cardboard as he's trying to push people off. He does manage to boop off Lucio there. Buffar trying to contest with the Rocket Barrage. Questionable ult as he immediately gets taken out by Cement, and this point's going to be going back to roll for initiative.
Yeah, roll for initiative. They did a great job of finding the picks they needed to push right in, despite the huge ult disadvantage they had. Cement on the McCree and Cardboard on Winston is really starting to pay off here against that Genji Tracer. Cement's getting some really, even though he's not getting quick kills, flashbang and all that, he is still controlling the backline pretty well against that Tracer. And Cardboard is cornering that Genji as well, having that Dragon Blade get popped and get stuffed instantly. However, it looks like roll for initiative is to try one more push.
Yes, now they're going to be pushing in here. Ranger is going to be popping his Primal Rage, and he's going to be going in for that back line. But they're going to be trying to push in on point, and the Pulse Bomb is going to be going out from Bear. Doesn't quite get anyone. His name's on that Genji. Takes out 2, and this point's going to be going back in the hands of Scouts and Knives as TMO tries to contest desperately. The Transcendence is going to be coming out from Zenyatta, but unfortunately he gets spoofed off by Lucio there. Name with the Genji ultimate focuses down Cement, takes him out, Winston on there as well, but Names takes him out as well. Teddy with that rocket barrage takes out 2, but they immediately get res by Reingold. A really nice res there as the sound barrier is also going to be coming out from Lucio. Ranger focuses down Zephyrus, and this point is in the hands of Scouts and Knives yet again.
Yeah, the name is getting that triple kill at the end was what they needed to push right in. And when they were pushing into the choke, it was a little bit awkward for them to push right in because the Fardo was doing a really good job of controlling that choke. But once Legion Teddy was taken care of, I think the Reindeer was pretty much just pressuring him. They managed to push on through, and the Nameless was able to get onto the point and do what he does best. So great job there by Scouts and Knives for pushing on through despite Legion Teddy controlling that choke very well.
Now our our final map is gonna be on Well, and I'm really hoping to see a Roadhog pick, but doesn't look like we're gonna get one. We're not gonna see any hooks into the Well today, as we are gonna get underway. Both teams are gonna be playing around the same comp as they did last time, with their players and their respective characters. As we're going to be pushing in here, Bubbarf is going to be taking that left side. Ranger immediately jumping back onto a roll for initiative as Names does sneak behind and kill TLMO. Corbett on that Winston focuses Names, who went in too deep and takes him out. But looks like Scouts and Knives has the initiative on this point, and they're going to be taking it. But not if Teddy has anything to say about it. He is snuck behind. He is contesting against Ringgold, who's trying to fend him off. But it looks like they all fall back. Teddy is the only one on this point. He really wants to contest. He's trying to contest. Tilmo is also on this point. He's trying to contest. They really don't want to let this up, but Scouts and Knives is going to be taking it.
Yeah, it looks like roll for initiative is kind of running this weird hybrid dive comp. They are running this Winston, but it looks like, as you saw in the last fight, they kind of are just waiting for Scouts and Knives to just push right in and hopefully pick off Namiz with McCree. And it looks like they're going to get staggered on here. Even they're going to, lose some more percentage. But they're just kind of just waiting for Genji and Tracer to come to them. And as a result, they're kind of just getting wiped out here, since they really just need to, either just run this dive comp, or just run an anti-dive comp here. Maybe not Winston, maybe Reinhardt, maybe Orisa, not sure. But it looks like they're kind of just, putting. They're kind of just dipping right in, but they're not like going fully into this dive comp with that McCree and that Zenyatta pick, while they could just be running like Genji or Lucio.
Names in the back trying to focus down TLMO as well as Tracer. They're both in the back line. Both Primal Rages are going to be popped, as they are going to be fighting against each other. Reindeer does focus down Summit and take him out with McCree down. That's a pick in favor of Scouts and Knives. Roll for initiative is slightly spread out, a little too spread out for my taste, as they all pushed in. They're yes, they are pretty spread out, as the Reindeer just is in that room, just killing them all, as Scouts and Knives is going to be holding this point as it approaches 80%.
Yeah, roll for initiative does need to swap it out here, and we do see a Tracer does come out. That'll help a little bit, but I really would like to see this Winston. I think the Winston is fine, but they might need a second tank, because this triple DPS, while it could work, it's not really working out to how they're playing, because they're kind of just waiting for Genji and Tracer to come in, when this triple DS should be able to just dive right in and take out the backline.
The Sound Bearer is going to be popped for roll for initiative, as well as the Rocket Barrage, which does kill Reingold. Sound Bearer is also popped out from Lucio on the sides of Scouts and Knives. But all the picks are in favor of Scouts and Knives at this point, as TLMO is the only one on the point. He does get focused down by Buttbarf, who was using his Far ultimate, and this point is going to be going for Scouts and Knives, and they win.
And Scouts and Knives really showing that they know how to run the dive comp there, with the name. The name is running on that Genji, obviously, but also just to initiate with the Reindeer on that Winston. He was able to, push right in, and even though if he died or if he didn't die, it doesn't really matter, as he was able to ride on his DPS to take him out. And it looks like we see this nice double kill. Looks like, I thought Mercy was hiding there, but looks like she did get high noon at the end of the day. And yeah, Cement was, well, I think it was paying off. It wasn't really with the comp that they were kind of running. They're kind of running this half dive comp, not really dive comp type of thing with McCree and Zenyatta. So I really would like to see them commit one way or the other. But instead, they kind of just weren't really committing to one way or the other, and as a result, they kind of just got dived on by Scouts and Knives.
Yeah, McCree can do work, but unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of maneuverability. Does have his role, but that's not quite enough for him to survive on his own. He doesn't really have any get out of jail free cards, so he really needs a Reinhardt to stand behind and fight, shoot behind that barrier. But without any barrier and only Winston as their tank, he couldn't do as much work as he should have done.
Yeah, and you saw like in I think in Well, he would just get dived out instantly. And if they were running some sort of death ball lineup with maybe not like barrier watch, but like just at least a Reinhardt and like at least a Zarya, they would be able to run like that McCree pretty well against the dive comp if they decided to go that anti-dive sort of comp. But unfortunately, they were just got dived on by the Name Is and Reindeer and that Winston.
Okay, so I'm going to bring in Trumu now. Trumu, what do you think about that last game on Ilios?
The last game on Ilios was actually a fun one to watch, in my opinion. There was so much good plays from both teams, and not just from like one or two players. The Name is Square. His Genji was probably phenomenal on all the Ilios maps. Well, what I saw outstanding was on Lighthouse. He used his ult to actually save the point, to take control of the point from roll 4 actually. Since they had almost captured with 5 people on, he ult, gets 3 people, and then their team just comes in and just takes the left order kills and captures the point, which gave them that point and probably gave them to win.
Yeah, definitely. And we sound like a broken record, but like the Name Is really doing a great job of whether he's like making the big plays like with Graviton Surge like we saw in Temple of Anubis, or just like getting picks off and stopping pushes. Like it's just it's all around great play. But overall, like Scouts and Knives is really playing well, not only around him but playing with him as well. Running that dive comp with Reindeer on that Winston, knowing what he needs to do to run a dive comp, and knowing that he needs to give space for his other 2 DPS players to do a lot of work. So great job on Scouts and Knives for knowing the meta pretty well, despite the fact that they're just a pickup game team, but they know the meta well enough to play together as a team.
Yes, they are really almost convincing me that they're a pre-made team, and not just they just met each other about like an hour ago. And as you watch their gameplay, it's really surprising to try to believe that, because they're a well-oiled machine and they're doing really well so far.
And it looks like we're just waiting for the team to come in here, but I believe the next team is going to be Golden Weapons again, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, but it might be another team, but we're just gonna wait and see here for the one more team to come on in.
It looks like they're doing the finals. Oh, but looks like there's gonna be the finals now, since Group B, which is being casted by another group, is actually finishing up their matches. But let's see what happens there.
So looks like we're gonna be casting the finals next. We have to wait till Group B finishes. But before we get into that, overall, what did you guys think about the set of matches we casted so far?
I thought it was good. I really liked the first map we played on Road 66. That Torbjorn pick on offense worked out better than I expected, and I'm not sure if they just weren't expecting it, but it was pretty interesting to see like Winston coming in and then Torbjorn just getting the space, like building up and giving him the space that they needed. It probably won't work all the time, since that was like a special scenario where like Torbjorn was in the tunnel and they didn't really know how to handle the turret. It was just fun to see like little variations of dive comp like that, since it can be a little bit tiring just to see the same dive comp team over and over again, especially in today's meta.
Yes, you see a lot in today's meta. The Winston pick, the Genji pick, the Tracer pick, the Lucio pick. It's all around the same comp every single time, and it's really refreshing to see an off-meta pick, especially Torbjorn on attack, which doesn't quite work that much, but in that case, in that special scenario, it did. So
I also really enjoyed watching the DPS play from not only the Name Is that we've been talking about, but also from other players like TLMO as well. It was really nice to see that, like when they were like just getting kills all the time, you saw them in the back line just giving a lot of space for their team and having their team push in as well. So I really like seeing that unselfish DPS play rather than just like diving in and going for a kill. They were able to like just make room for their team, and whether or not they get a kill doesn't matter. It's just all about getting their team in the right position and in the best position to win.
Yes, they really put their team first. You don't really see that a lot in pickup teams, especially if you're solo queuing and competitive, which I hope it's going to be better this season than it was last season.
Let's see about that. That's wishful thinking, but we never know. So yeah, you said we were casting in the finals, and Kabooks, you really enjoy King's Row.
Oh, I do.
What when you guys play on King's Row, like what do you look for in terms of like playing against the enemy team, and what comps to look for, and what are you expecting?
Well, when we play Kings Row, my team XLCR, we I don't really want to reveal our team comp, but I am gonna say this: we really it's been a little difficult for us, especially with this. I completely forgot the name. Dive comp meta. Yes, the dive comp meta. I just blanked out for a second there. Sorry about that. Especially the dive comp meta. But Kings Row has a lot of places you can take on the high ground. Really, I really like that high ground above the point. You can toss a DPS player on that, and they can do work if you're not focusing down them correctly. There's also on attack, not just defense. There's a lot of places to push in. You can. Sometimes you can push them to hotel, but that usually ends up as a kill zone as you just get focused because it's such a small room. But you can push right around the statue, which we love doing. It's a really nice attack route there as well.
Yeah, and I think the attack routes on King's Row is interesting too, because I really like running Widows on King's Row as well, especially if you get that first point down and you get a pick, then it's pretty nice. And if you do manage to get the point, you can get a free area by running Widow on that corridor as well. So I really like seeing Widow on King's Row, not only for like the first pick, like I always like to see on 2CP maps, but just the further snowball potential as well.
Yeah, the Widow pick can be done surprisingly well if you know how to play her. Especially in attack, because there's a lot of long stretches on King's Row, where like right after you get that first point, there's that really long open stretch where Widowmaker can just perch on there and get some really nice shots off and try to clear away for her team. It also works on defense. Widowmaker can post on the long stretch as well and shoot down and get some nice picks as well.
One thing that I was kind of surprised to see in the last match was like the Widowmaker not really working out well on Ruins, and to me, I think that's going to kind of show that dive comps are really even giving Widows a hard time. I mean, especially giving Widows a hard time, even on like Widow favorite maps. So it's kind of interesting to see like maps like King's Row if they do opt to run that Widow on. Probably not on defense, maybe on defense, but on that offense, we're gonna see if they opt to run that Widow, or they might just decide like, oh, this is kind of too slow, and just run a regular dive comp.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they're going to pull a Widowmaker on attack, because that Winston could give that Widowmaker space in order to shoot, because as you jump in, you're engaging, you're giving your DPS the space to shoot into the enemy team. And when the entire defensive team is focusing on that Winston, Widowmaker can sit back like miles away from the point and just keep sniping in and getting pick after pick after pick if you play it correctly.
Yeah, definitely. And so Group B is going to be going on, but after that it'll be the finals. But in the meanwhile, we're going to be taking a short break here, but when we come back, we'll be ready to host the finals for you guys. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Everyone, welcome back to the stream. Here we have Scouts and Knives versus Blue Laser for the final match of Midweek Madness this week. It's been pretty exciting. We've seen a lot of teams go back and forth, and we are on Kings Row. Personally, one of my favorite maps. But Feeney, take it away and talk about what these team comps are going to be.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much Blue Laser since we've been casting the other group, but Scouts and Knives is definitely going to be running some sort of comp, or at the very least, they're going to have some sort of some aggressive lineup with the name is on that Genji. He's been doing a great job this event of just getting huge picks and getting making big plays with his team, and he is still going to be on that Genji. No surprise there. And it looks like they're going to be running a pretty familiar lineup that we've seen before. Meanwhile, on the side of Blue Laser, it looks like we are going to be running a Hanzo on defense. I'm interested to see how this Hanzo is going to play out, since the if Scouts and Knives does manage to run in dive comp, they can just shut down that Hanzo right away. But if Blue Laser does manage to get a nice pick and shut down that push, like if they go through that tunnel, they can use Scatter Arrow and Sonic Arrow to just stop their push right in their tracks if they do decide to go down to the hotel. So overall, I'm really interested to see how this Hanzo is going to work out on defense.
Looks like we have a Hanzo on attack as well, as Bear's going to be playing Hanzo. On the side of Scouts and Knives, we're going to be seeing a traditional dive comp. Name is going to be on that Sombra. Maybe it's a troll pick, but let's see if he just switches back to Genji before this game starts. We are going to be seeing Val on that Mei for Blue Laser. Personally, I love Mei on this point. She can be really effective using the walls. And we're underway as Scouts and Knives is going to be attacking here. We're going to be pushing in with that Winston, with the dive comp. They're going to be going hard and fast. His name just goes right behind the statue. And Bear on that top there trying to focus down that Reinhardt barrier as it's getting close to breaking. Reindeer looking to jump in. He's going to be jumping in all the way in the back as he jumps in. He tries to get the Ana on fire with a really nice sleep, as Cocaine is going to be finishing off Reindeer here. But Name is going to be pushing in there. He wants to focus on their supports, but he finishes off Cocaine as well, as Bear also takes Alexandria. A Name is wrecking the back line as he focuses down Ana as well. They did lose their Winston, but now he is back onto the point, bullying that Reinhardt there, as he is going to take out both Reinhardt and Mei. And this point is in the hands of Scouts and Knives.
I thought really Scouts and Knives was going to lose that fight, since the Reindeer, he jumped in and he died like he normally should do. But they were a little bit slow and delayed with their push. Like the Name is came in like 2 seconds after the Reindeer died. But they managed to make it work by the Name is, getting a nice deflect on, I think, the Beer on Beer's arrow, and managed to take him down. But it looks like, huge sleep by Fire on the side of Blue Laser and shutting down Dragon Blade. And it looks like Scouts and Knives is going to wait a little bit longer as the Name is getting back up with no Dragon Blade in sight.
Yeah, that was a really huge sleep play by Fire there. Really nice sleep for him, as Winston is going to be popping his Primal Rage, trying to hit around Reinhardt, trying to mess him up, trying to make him unfocused, as Reinhardt is going to be popping his Hammer down, as well as Have's going to be popping his Tac Visor, but Ringgold undoes it all with that Mercy Res. But without their Winston, they're going to need to fall back and regroup, as Buttbuff, she starts to push in here as well. Val is going to be switching off that Mei and be going to Winston. So it looks like they'll be running both Winston and Reinhardt as their tanks. Bear uses his dragons, does take out a Have there. They're going to be pushing around this corner. The barrier is destroyed for Blue Laser, as they're going to have to group up and back out because they won't have that barrier to protect him. Name is in the back line. He's trying to focus down their supports, as Ryan does, who was on Winston, is now on Reinhardt. He charges in. He takes out 2 picks. Alexandria undoes it all with that really nice Mercy Res. Name pops his Dragon Blade in the back, focusing on Have, takes him out. The Sound Barrier is going to be popped out for Blue Laser, but it's not enough. His name focuses down on Fire, takes him out as well. Primal Rage is going to be popped out from Winston as he's trying to contest Jacob on that. Ryan is trying to contest as well, but he gets taken out, and it looks like they're approaching the second point here.
And Scouts and Knives, despite the fact that they're running a composition that is going to, pretty much help against dive. They are still doing really well, especially the name is popping at Dragon Blade. They managed to get 2 Soldier and Ana on the back line. It looks like we have Havi switching to McCree here. That's gonna help. That's definitely gonna help take down Kenji with Von Nalo on that Winston as well. So with these 2 heroes, hopefully they should be able to handle Genji diving in their backline here. And it looks like it's doing pretty well as Von Nalo deters the name is.
A really nice Graviton does come out from Scouts and Knives and gets comboed with Bear's Dragon, and Ranger does charge in here and gets a few picks as well. Fire is the only one here. He's trying to survive, try to contest the point, but he gets focused and immediately gets taken out. Have his switch to that McCree, trying to contest Reindeer with the stall ult as well. The other ult is going to be coming out from Jacob. A really nice bubble there by Zarya, protecting her Lucio player. And looks like Blue Laser is trying to contest here as they try to get back. A really nice boop from Lucio as he basically boops Reinhardt off the map. He also boosts off Cocaine, so double boop there for Lucio. Then a boost is going to be going on Val here as they're trying to contest. But he's not sure who to focus. He's the only one on there. He really has to hold on at this point. It's only 0.58 meters away as the Dragons do come out trying to push people off the point. The Soundbearer is going to be popped. The Dragons is going to be coming out from half as well as he's really trying to contest Val with that Primal Rage. Does get it popped. The hammer down is also coming out from Ranger, focusing down Val, trying to push him away. Thanksgiving does get really slept by Ana there. He's just trying to hold on. Val is on the point. He really wants to contest, but he fell off. And round 1 is complete.
Yeah, round 1 is complete. Blue Laser, Alexander with the nice triple man res, but unfortunately he was a little too late there. Good job with Scouts and Knives realizing that they had the ult advantage there at the initial push. They came in and they saw the Mercy res too before the second checkpoint, and as a result, they kind of just pushed right in since they knew that they had the 2 ult advantage up on them. So good job on Scouts and Knives for recognizing that and pushing right on through.
Yeah, most definitely. It was a really exciting game to cast, and a lot of ultimates coming out from either team really well placed. I would have liked to see the May pick stayed instead of him switching to Winston, but it did really hold out in the end because he did manage to contest for a very long time. But unfortunately, they did manage to hold on to the point.
And it looks like Scouts and Knives here is going to be running Roadhog on defense. And Buttbarf, as we saw that she has been doing pretty well when it comes to Roadhog on defense. She had really nice hooks on Temple of Anubis, especially on the first point. When she was holding onto that high ground, she would just get a nice hook and pretty much just stop the push because it usually ends up being a pretty key target, whether it be like a Soldier or like a Mercy or Lucio. Buttbarf has been pretty well at hooking those key targets in when they push it. So expect to see Buttbarf getting nice hooks as well. On the Blue Laser side, we have Heavy on Widow here. He might switch off, and as well as Cocaine might just switch off by just trying to gut vision with that Sonic Arrow. But I would love to see Heavy go on that Widow if he can play it, since if they do get a quick pick, they are able to push the point pretty easily. And if they do manage to take the point, they can snowball even more with Widow.
Yes, and I really want to see what this Widow pick can do. Maybe you can get a few picks. Maybe Winston can give him some room in order to use that Widowmaker effectively, but he's going to be keeping that Widowmaker pick on as Names is behind him. He sneaks on him and immediately takes him out. Really nice sneaky pick by Names there. He just focuses down that Widowmaker and eventually destroys her as the Blue Laser is down a man as they're pushing onto point. Looks like a really nice charge by Ranger as he pushes straight onto Reinhardt and then takes him, ends up pushing him back. Names in the back line doing what Genji does, taking care of the healers and finishing off Mercy. But he goes in a little too deep and gets taken up by Cocaine. But it looks like they're going to have to regroup and focus on this point as Cocaine is going to be getting staggered there.
Good initial push on the name is going against Heavy and taking him out initially really fast, and that gives Scouts and Knives a lot of space because before when they saw that Widow, they just backed up to the archway there. But after the name made quick work of Heavy, they pushed up onto the point, and once they had that ground advantage, Buttbarf and Reindeer was able to do their work and push right in.
And Rain tries to use his ultimate, but it's completely blocked by a really well-placed Winston bubble. But he manages to regroup with his team, and he does hold that point. Looks like Blue Laser is slightly staggered there as they went in. Their tanks went in by themselves. Fire is in the back line trying to focus down the supports, but the supports are sticking close to Butt Barf, and she is protecting them. Trying to keep him away from that Tracer. Val is going to be charging in. He's going to be using his ultimate. He gets down 3. Fire managed to finish on Butt Barf. Thanks, pops his Zenyatta Transcendence as he's trying to keep his team alive. Ringo with that Mercy Rise raises both tanks back. That could be what they needed to defend this point. As Butt Fire is behind them, he finishes off Thanks. And but he doesn't quite manage to get Ringold as he's still behind him. He might get staggered if they start to focus him. And it looks like Scott's Knives is going to be pushing in here.
Yeah, and Blue Laser is gets a nice scatter arrow on Beer, and they're going to push right in here with Jacob on that Winston, trying to harass the back line. And without that Mercy on Ringo, it's going to be really tough as Primal Rage does get popped in the back here, and while Whole Hog is to hold him back in the corner and manages to take him out, Blue Laser is still pushing in here as Fire is doing work, taking care of both tanks. And with Fire and Winston on the side of Blue Laser, they managed to cap the point.
A really nice play by Fire there, focusing down two tanks, using the Pulse Bomb when they were grouped up to finish them off. Looks like Blue Laser is going to be having this point with about 3 minutes and 44 seconds left to try to push to where how far Scouts and Knives pushed, which was all the way to the end, which was the 3rd point. Looks like Scouts and Knives is going to be holding this corner here as Tracer is going to be going behind to try to get a pick at their healers, but he does get bullied back by Soldier. Hanzo is also shooting at the barrier, trying to break it down. It looks like they're going to let him have this corner and try to regroup here and take this little straight area straight away and try to defend here. If I was Winston right now, I'd be jumping in and trying to mess up their point, as the Hanzo is going to be coming out from Scouts and Knives side, as well as the Transcendence to try to stop it. A really, really nice hammer down coming out from Winston, as well as the Dragon Blade just cleaning them all up, coming in from all sides, just completely obliterating the entire pushing force of Blue Laser.
Yeah, the name is just swooping into that Dragon Blade and Reindeer on that Earth Shatter, just cleaned the team up onto the streets. Really good job by Scouts and Knives. A little bit of questionable ult by Javi there. With that Transcendence, he just used it to push on up to let his team take the corner. And what I would really like to see is Javi just really look to counter that Dragon Blade. Since you can hear Dragon Blade get activated, and Javi can just immediately shut it down with that Transcendence. But unfortunately, he decides to use it to push around the corner, and the name is just manages to pop Dragon Blade for free essentially.
Attack Visor behind Bear takes out both supports. A huge play, like completely stopping their push, as it looks like Scouts and Knives is going to be taking advantage of that. They're going to be pushing in all the way to the choke, pushing in more all the way almost up to their spawn as Reindeer goes ham on the enemy backline.
Scouts and Knives, Reindeer on that Reinhardt doing really well as well. And Beer, starting things off, that Tactical Visor at the back. No one really noticed them, and as a result, he got a really big feed, getting 2 picks there, supporting the DPS. And Reindeer just came in and cleaned up, so good job for Beer for setting it up with that Tactical Visor in the backline. It looks like Blue Laser is going to look to push in, though. They are sitting on 4 ults, and Fire gets a nice Pulse Bomb to start it off, and it looks like he's going to dive right in and go for it initially.
Val is going to be popping his hammer down there. He does get a few, and they do clean up. Ringold trying to get that Mercy Res, but he doesn't quite get there in time, as looks like Blue Laser is going to be pushing around this corner and maybe pushing this 3rd point, but not if Scouts and Knives has anything to say about it. Bear is in the back line, not before he died. He finished off Cocaine there. Winston's going to be jumping in, trying to get on those healers as Reindeer is pushed back to the wall as Butt Barb. She is going to be popping her Whole Hog. Ringold immediately reses Reindeer, try to keep that momentum going. A really nice hammer down by Reindeer there, finishing off their team, but Alex does manage to get that res off, resing them again. The Dragon Blade is going to be coming out from half here as he focuses on the Cocaine. Also with the Dragon Blade, both Dragon Blades are out, but Cocaine is the one that does the most work, focusing on their healer and manages to take the point.
The Bosch brothers going at it there, Cocaine and that Dragon Blade, and the name is on Scouts and Knives, also popping Dragon Blade. But looks like Cocaine has got a lot of support with his team. With Heavy getting Discord orbs on Reinhardt, really did the trick there, and Cocaine manages to take him out in 2 shots, and then just snowballed from there. You know, just swift striking all over Scouts and Knives. A great job by Cocaine for pushing in, but also a great job on Heavy and Fire for setting him up as well.
Fire is going to be using that pulse bomb, but doesn't quite kill Reindeer, as we are going to see the Dak Visor come out from Bear, as he does manage to finish off Cocaine there. Permarage is going to be popped as well, as he looks like he's trying to contest, but he's basically all by himself, and he's going to get focused and taken out pretty quickly.
Yeah, Scouts and Knives, great job of holding there. Blue Lizard didn't really have any resources to take that corner, and Scouts and Knives just, went right in and took them out. All they have to do is deploy Tactical Advisor. Look to see Heavy, almost having Transcendence here. I would like to see Transcendence, stopping the Dragon Blade as well. But the name is not really pretty close, not really close to Dragon Blade at all. So it should be all right. It looks like Cocaine is diving in here for the backline with that Dragon Blade and takes out one.
Cocaine does use that Dragon Blade and basically uses it as a distraction for Reinhardt ult to come out, as he does get quite a few picks with the Dragon Blade. Val is doing work on Reinhardt as well. Does get a few picks as well. But boy, Vetbarb is desperate to contest as he's hopping around with Tiny Diva. But they're going to be pushing around to this 3rd and final point. Looks like they're going to be needing to contest if they really want to take it, as Ringgold is really the only ones on there, as they're going to be hopping in. Tranquility is going to be coming out from Hev. A questionable ult from Hev there, as the Pulse Bomb is going to be coming out, as well as the Tac Visor. But Barf is going to be taking out Alexandria, which could be a huge pick. But Ringgold with the res immediately reses both who tanks names with his Dragon Blade, and Val with a really nice hammer down. But no one's on the point.
Yeah, and that was really a questionable ult by Heavy there, because Heavy Transcendence pretty much nothing, and he didn't need to stop Dragon Blade specifically, but he could have stopped other ultimates too, like Tactical Visor. And what would have been really nice is to actually stop Reindeer's Earth Shatter getting 4. He could have easily just used Transcendence and just run to his team and stop them from dying, as well as stay on the point. But unfortunately, Heavy decided to use it and didn't really stop any ults, and as a result, Blue Lasers got eliminated.
Yes, definitely. As we see here, Cocaine with a really nice Dragon Blade there, really using the support of his team and taking out a lot of the heroes on Scouts and Knives side. So this was not the only map. We're going to be going into the 2nd map, and I'm going to bring Trumer in here to talk more about that and his thoughts on the last match.
Yeah, Trumer, what did you think about that last match, specifically the Genji play on both teams?
What I like from Cocaine is he switched to Genji to try to counter the Genji on their team, which was really interesting on my part. But what I saw was Cocaine on the Genji actually did really well in general, and also the Hanzo he did really well. But what I liked the most was probably Beer's flank and his ult on Blue Laser. He did a really good job of getting good ults out. It didn't get much, but it helped stop a few pushes happening. And yeah.
Yeah, and that last fight there too, they also picked a really good fight on Cocaine on the Dragon Blade. It was pretty much the easiest swipes you can get. Like, they're all there, they were all not spread out, and you just swipe with your Dragon Blade. So also a good job for them for picking a pretty good position. And it looks like we're going to go into Nepal here. Kabooks, what do you think of how both teams are playing, and how do you think they're going to perform in Nepal?
They're probably going to be running some sort of dive, preferably on Nepal. It really depends on what map we're going to get, and it looks like we're going to be getting Sanctuary first. And what I usually see here is if they're going to be running a dive, they're going to be coming in on the right side, and they're going to be taking that high ground first and just kind of pushing in here. But it looks like as we look on the teams, Val is going to be on that Orisa, and Jacob is going to be on that Roadhog. And we're going to be seeing a more traditional dive comp coming out from Scouts and Knives with Reindeer on the Winston. And what do you think about these two teams' picks?
I'm not sure if the name is going to play Symmetra. He's probably going to switch to Genji or Tracer. And I do really like Roadhog here for not only like just the over the ledge hooks, but just the because you can get a lot of space control here for just having the hooks, because you have these like corridors on the left and right side that teams will like to push through, and if you do manage to get a hook onto your side, you're able to get a really quick pick, especially since the enemy team has to push into you, otherwise they're going to lose that ground. So look to see some big Roadhog hooks on the side of Blue Laser on Jacob there, and also look to see the name is on the Genji as is usual.
Looks like Blue Laser is going to be taking that traditional high ground, but looks like Scouts and Knives not going to even contest them as they immediately push in the other way and focus down their back line as they're going to be pushing in. The point is going to be unlocking shortly, but Winston is there, Reindeer is there on Winston, just bullying them. As Mercy unfortunately falls to her death here. It looks like Scouts and Knives is going to be taking this point. Looks like Blue Laser is going to be trying to contest here, most definitely, but they all end up falling to the point. Yes, this point is going to be going for Scouts and Knives.
A little bit of a messy fight there. Blue Laser lost Alexander on that Mercy really early on, I think it was either Genji or Tracer that took her out, but they lost Mercy really early there, and as a result, they lost that middle portion after they get out of that little room with the health pack. And they couldn't really take any more ground without Mercy, and Scouts and Knives just bullied their way under the point essentially, and managed to take it.
Yes, most definitely. And Bear with that pulse bomb does get an early pick. They are pushing in extremely far here. Blue Laser has, with the farmers, he did try to go behind, but without support to their team, they immediately got taken out.
This is really hard for Blue Laser to push in, since Scouts and Knives knows how to play this high ground. Just like for example, like Hollywood on pushing into the saloon, and you hold the high ground against the warehouse. It's kind of the same thing here, where you hold on to them and make sure they don't go through the doors. But it looks like they do know that they can go to the left side. But unfortunately, Buttbarf got a big rocket barrage, getting 3 kills. And looks like Scouts and Knives is going to hold on for much longer, despite the fact that Blue Laser knew how to counter this.
Yes, even though Blue Laser went in a different way, Scouts and Knives knew exactly what they were doing, and they knew exactly how to stop that push with Buttbarf. She got a really nice rocket barrage, killing around 3 people there, completely stopping the push. We're now going to have a Sound Barrier coming out from Lucio on Scouts and Knives. Reinhardt is going to be charging in for Blue Laser, but he immediately gets focused out. Reindeer with the Primal Rage is going to be taking out Fire as well, and looks like you're going to be taking this whole choke here.
And Blue Laser do have the tools to push on through. Looks like Scouts and Knives is just doing a really good job of holding them through. What Blue Laser needs to do is just to push right in with that Lucio as a team. Like they can rotate on the right side or on the left side, wherever they want to go. But just to rotate with that Lucio as a group. But it looks like they weren't really able to handle it, as usually 1 or 2 get picked out, especially with Buttbarf and the name is on that Genji and Farah respectively. They are having so much trouble against them that even if they do have the tools to go against that sort of defense, they weren't able to handle those 2 heroes specifically, because they're just doing such a good job of stopping them, their offense. Yes,
most definitely. And it looks like our next map here is going to be the Village. You think they're going to be changing up they are going to be changing up their team comps. Val is going to be going to May, and Jacob's going to be switching over to that Winston. So we're going to have more traditional dives coming out from either team as they get rid of that stationary tank there. What do you think about this change on the other team's tanks?
Yeah, I'm not sure how this will work out. One thing I want to know about is Blue Laser running on that Cocaine on McCree. As well as, I think May is good here on this map specifically, but McCree and Winston alone on Blue Laser, looks like they're just having a really hard time with Genji and Tracer, and they're trying to respond to that. But as we saw before in the last couple of matches, Scouts and Knives knows how to handle comps like this, and as a result, they just dive right in here with Winston on the Lucio, and Buttbarf taking out 2 in the back line, and they just get eliminated. So like comps like these where they're kind of going against the dive, kind of not going against the dives, doesn't seem to be too effective against Scouts and Knives, as they're just able to play a really clean dive.
Yes, definitely. As we saw there, Scouts and Knives just immediately dominated that high ground and just bullied them into that corner and just getting kill after kill after kill, pushing them all the way back. And It looks like they're going to be Blue Laser is going to be trying to contest them again on this high ground as Scouts and Knives tries to hold them back. Hap is going to be going around right. A bear with a huge pulse bomb takes out 4, completely stopping their push.
Wow, that was really big, and that was also bound to happen too, because they keep pushing through that choke, and I'm pretty sure that Blue Laser has learned a lesson, and they're just going to push into the mid here. But really good tracer bomb there by Scouts and Knives. But the bigger symptom here is that Blue Laser just really needs to figure out what they want to run against this dive comp. Are they going to run like this death ball type of comp? And it looks like they are slowly starting to do that with Jacob switching on that Reinhardt. Or they're going to dive right in. And it looks like Kenji does get popped, and Cocaine does manage to start it off by taking Far out.
The Gidgel is going to be popped by Names, and he does take out 2, but Ringgold immediately does res Bear and Buttbuff, who died earlier. And it looks like they're going to be holding on to this point as they're just cleaning up the fight right now.
Yeah, it looks like that cleanup did happen. It looks like they're going to have this a little bit of a stagger, getting a few more percentage in. But Blue Laser still has a chance to come back in here and take the point, especially with Velnilo on that Blue Lizard. If they do manage to come in here and fight on the stride with Blizzard, then it'll work out. And especially with that pick on Beer, it looks like they're about to push right in here as they're about to take the fight here and hopefully take the point.
Yeah, it's now or never. Blue Laser needs to make something happen. They need to push in. But Alexandra, who had res, is down. They won't be able to res as but the Rocket Bark is coming out from Butt Barb. She does get 2 picks. But this point is going to be going for Blue Laser as a pulse bomb comes out for Bear, takes out Jacob. This point is being contested back and forth as each team is basically fighting, holding on at this point as Val just trying to block him off with the May wall there, but she does end up getting taken out. And this point looks like it's going to be going back in the hands of Scouts and Knives as Blue Laser is trying to push in there. Alexandra with the res and the sound barrier as right after, as they really want to hold on to this point as much as they can. Jacob with a really nice hammer down, gets to get 2, just managed to finish him off. The pulse bomb is going to be coming out from Cocaine, but doesn't quite get him, and they're going to be holding this point.
That was definitely a really messy fight on both sides, but Blue Laser managed to bring it back. Alexander, like you said before, got picked off really early in the fight, and they weren't able to res. And when Velnilo brought down the Blizzard and didn't pretty much just people just walk out of it, it was a little bit concerning for Blue Laser, but it looks like Alexander just managed to come back in, get a 2-man res, and the 4 members on the team managed to take it in.
Soundbearer and Dragonblade are going to be coming out for Scouts and Knives, as well as the Pulse Bomb from Bear, as well as the Primal Rage. They're popping all their ults right now. They're just charging in on point, but Ringgold does fall with the Pulse Bomb. Also takes a Rain, but it looks like they have the man advantage to hold on at this point as Cocaine desperately tries to contest, but this point is going to be going in favor of Scouts and Knives.
And it looks like Blue Laser here is going to go for the stall, but Beard managed to take out Fire instantly, and Blue Laser, unfortunately, does get taken out, and Scouts and Knives takes this map.
Yes, unfortunately, Blue Laser did have... it did manage to take back that first point in the second round, but they couldn't hold it as Scouts and Knives charged in and used all their ult to try to take back the point.
Blue Laser is doing a lot of work here just to go against this dive comp. They're running that May, and running that McCree, and sorry, that Reinhardt as well. They're doing a lot of work here and the dive comp can just walk right out, and they don't really have to do too much about it. Whilst the Blue Laser side, they have to set a lot of things up, get that Blizzard on the shrine and make sure everyone's on the point to make sure that the dive is shut down. And it looks like they are going to switch off that Blizzard, that May, and on favor of Pharah and D.Va as well. So we're gonna see how this works out on Blue Laser's side, but it's looking pretty promising as Buttbarf is also running that D.Va as well.
Looks like Team Comms have switched up, but Reindeer is still on that Winston, and they do get those 2 picks, both of the healers, and this point is basically in the hands of Scouts and Knives because both the healers are down for Blue Laser.
And it looks like Scouts and Knives is still pushing on through, and they are pretty much going to cap this point. Blue Laser just needs to regroup here as they're losing a lot of stagger time, but it looks like they still having a little hard time here as the name is still going off, taking out McCree, and Reindeer taking out Baby D.Va as well. And Blue Laser is just going to get staggered over and over here unless they back up all the way up and just regroup together as a team.
Yes, and Scott's Knives is really bullying him. They're really up in their face as Cocaine slips behind, but he has no support from his team, and he immediately gets taken out. I don't really understand what Cocaine was trying to do. Maybe he was trying to get a pick off, but without the support of his team, he got staggered really hard.
Yeah, it looks like Cocaine was hoping to build the ult right away on the whole spawn, but Heavy gets a nice pick on Reindeer, and while he does get a nice pick, Blue Laser does not really have the resources to push in, as Scouts and Knives is holding so much space right now. But while Cocaine tries to make a play here, the pulse bomb does not manage to connect, and they are going to be having to push for a little bit longer here.
The G-Vault is going to be coming out for a Blue Laser, but doesn't quite get anyone, as the Lucy ult is also coming out from Scouts and Knives. They want to keep that stain, try to hold on to this point as much as they can, as they're getting the picks to keep it. Cocaine in that backline, as well as Val. They're trying to take care of the supports, and no one's really there to kill them, as they really want to focus on the supports, as they do manage to kill Ringgold. But Winston Reindeer is back. Val does manage to try to pop his ultimate. They're only getting Reindeer, but there's only it looks like Scouts and Knives is going to be holding on to this.
It's looking really grim for Blue Laser here. Not only are they getting staggered really hard, but Scouts and Knives is getting a huge amount of ult charge here. But Barf does get demeched here and not able to get pushed in, but looks like Name is about to pop right in with his Dragon Blade and push against Blue Laser.
Bear getting a huge play with a Pulse Bomb, taking out both supports, staggering them even more. It's really, I'd say, really difficult for Blue Laser to take back this point at this point.
Yeah, Scouts and Knives is just feeding off the ult of Blue Laser, and they are going to have to get some key picks here, like on the Tracer, and that res was very good, and looks like I have to pull one more push as Ringgold rests back.
Yes, Ringgold does res Bear. They want to, Scouts and Knives wants to finish this fight here and now, as Blue Laser does pop their Lucio ultimate, as the fighting is starting to break on the point. Val does manage to pick off Ringgold there with their Mercy down. That could be what they need in order to push in, but Reindeer is on that Winston. He is jumping around, does manage to finish off Cocaine with a really nice pulse bomb, does get 3, and looks like this point is in the hands of Blue Laser, but Name is still doing work. He takes out 1, 2, and 3. He's still contesting. He really wants to hold on to this point, but he falls back.
Wow, Blue Laser with nothing short of a miracle there. That Cocaine with that triple man pulse bomb really sealed the deal for them. It was a little bit messy at first, but the picks started to add up with Heavy and Roadhog. But it looks like Name is pushing right in and manages to take out Mercy instantly.
Yes, and Name does take out both supports there, as well as Diva. Basically, Heavy using the ult advantage, also taking out Roadhog. Name is just going off right now, taking out everyone on Blue Laser's team. With only Cocaine trying to contest, he does end up getting taken out, and looks like Scouts and Knives is going to be having this point, as Blue Laser is desperately trying to contest right now.
Yeah, it looks like the Blue Laser in the contest right now. Scouts and Knives pops a few ults and pops Dragon Blade, but this Diva is not going to do too much. Scouts and Knives is going to handle this Diva man pretty handily. While Heavy does get a nice pick, actually gets blown all the way back, and Name is getting quick short work of that. And they're pretty much clean up here, as Blue Laser does manage to pop Rocket Barrage, but Scouts and Knives does hold on to the point.
Yes, we saw through that entire fight, Scouts and Knives really grouped in as a team, pushed on to the point. Once they had it for good, almost had for good, as they managed to hold onto that point almost the entire time. And Blue Laser, they kept getting staggered repeatedly, and they could never really group up as a team. And as we see here, Bear with a really nice quintuple pulse bomb there.
Unfortunately, Blue Laser couldn't really figure out how to handle the Genji and the Tracer. They were able to swap it up here and there, try Mei, try McCree, but they couldn't really quite find the formula to handle their dive comp as a whole. And as a result, Scouts and Knives just played their game throughout the whole event, and worked out for them.
Yes, most definitely. And now I'm gonna bring in Trumu, who is our producer, and he's gonna talk about that last match as well and what his thoughts are on it.
That match was just I don't even know what to say. So much good ult from Tracers, from the Genjis. Where should I start? On the first point, first point of Nepal, it felt like Scouts were relying on the name is on that Genji, since every time he died from the Roadhog, which they started Blue Laser started countering him. their push would just fall together, and um, yeah, the push would start together and it would just end. But then once they started supporting their Genji again, they started winning, and then yeah. But Beer on the Tracer on God had so many good ults with her pulse bomb, and yeah, and at the same time, same with Cocaine. But
We
Yeah, definitely.
we
So congratulations, Scouts and Knives, for winning the ultimate prize, which is bragging rights and I think a role on the Overwatch University League Discord, right? So good, congratulations to them.
Yes, congratulations, Wisconsin Knives, for winning the Midweek Madness tournament. We have they all played really well, especially names on that Genji. He pulled up some really, really nice Dragon Blades, and Bear on that Tracer, having a lot of really good pulse bombs at the end too.
Yeah, definitely, and hope to see more of these players in the Scouts and Knives in the future. Maybe not as a team, but just individually, because they played really well as a team, and I hope to see more of their performance in the future.
Yes, definitely. And with that, we this tournament is basically over. I really want to remind you though, we are Overwatch University. If you want to learn more about us, there's a bunch of links in the Twitch channel description below. There's an access to our Discord server. You can go on there. You can sign up. We accept everyone from all skill levels, so don't ever feel like you're not good enough to join us. We stream every Saturday at 3 p.m. BST for our EU games, and at 6 p.m. CST for our NA games. So stay tuned for more streams coming up on Saturday.
And with that being said, my name is Feeney.
And I'm Kabooks.
And we'll see you guys next time.